Testing, testing. Hello, Crispy Pies. Hello, ManQCon. Let's see. Give me just 1 minute and I'll get switched over. Alrighty, there. Why is the chat? Oh boy, why does the chat why does the chat look like that? Oh god. I thought I got that fixed. Damn it. Okay, I'll have to. I don't. What program am I using for the chat? Oh, I'm using Botrix. I'm still using Botrix for the chat. Wait, I thought I fixed this. Oh, I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can make this. Oh boy. Thank you for the head pat. Give me a minute to fix this. Oh boy, nope, that's still not fixed. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Let's do 550. That's better, that's better, that's better. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, that Botrix is the only one for Kick. I should probably change it back since I'm only doing streaming on Twitch now. But hello. Hello, welcome. How's everyone doing today? As you can see, I've made myself a new overlay using free assets from various sources. I think I used AOmaterial and Photoshop. I want to, what do Twitch users use instead of Kick? Oh, you mean for chat? Well, I need to find a new chatbot now, so I'm gonna look into that. But, as you can see, I've decided to do something a little bit different. I've been trying to... So, graphic design is not my passion, as you will come to know by the end of this. I didn't study graphic design. I've never been a graphically design inclined person. Fonts elude me. I don't know. I don't think these fonts look good together. Like I don't understand how people look at fonts and go like, "Oh yeah, this is a good font. This font goes well with this font." I don't understand. Like that might as well be rocket science to me. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. But I'm thinking of like making some new overlays just to have something a little bit more professional looking, since like I've been looking at like the prices for overlays and oh boy, they are expensive. At least the ones on VGen are. Anyway, hello and welcome to the stream. Oh, that's right. I want to put on background music. Let me put on some background music. There we go. So I'm actually kind of nervous for this stream because I'm actually going to be talking about things from my life. So, you know, hopefully I don't accidentally dox myself or whatever. But, yeah, basically today I'm going to be talking about my experience with art school. You know, how that didn't really work out for me. I guess before I go into it, I should specify, like, this is not me saying that, like, art school is, like, bad or you should never go to an art school or, like, you know, art schools are a waste of time. This is not me saying that at all. I just want to talk about, like, my experience and how it more or less ruined my life. Pretty much, unfortunately. Let's see. How's the music? Can you guys tell me how like the levels are? oh good. I'm glad to see you guys already got my credit cards, got my social security number, got my info, got all that crap probably. I was looking for, you know, I watched a tutorial on I tried watching a tutorial, I should specify, on how to do the Twitch VOD track thing. And it is so incredibly complicated. You have to basically make like separate sources for all of your sounds. So like your game sounds, your desktop sounds, your voice, your music, your whatever, your alerts, whatever other sounds, you have to make like a separate, like, you have to separate them. And it was just like, it's more trouble than it's actually worth. I would just rather listen to 12 hours of copyright-free background music, royalty-free music for creators and streamers. Then, like, you know, do all that crap just to be able to listen to, like, some like, not DMCA-free tunes. So I think I'm just gonna stick with that for now. But, let me actually give you guys a sneak peek at the other overlay I was working on. It's more or less this. Oh man, the chat got screwed up again. All right, I'll give you guys a sneak peek. There we go. So I have to fix the chat. I will work on that. Oh my god, the font still looks like shit. I don't really know what I can do about that. But yeah, I'm considering doing this for a little while just to see like how I like it and how my viewers like it, doing like the, you know, the classic VTuber stream overlay. So I'm probably gonna mess around with that for a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Let me transition it back. There we go. Oh, hold on. Someone just texted me. Let me make sure it's not important. Oh no, it's just a scam. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Oh yes, I want to talk about some stuff. Good stuff that happened to me. So, I passed my certification for work, and I got a raise. So, yay! Yay for me! So I'm very, very excited for that. It's a decent raise too, because before I was on basically like the training wage, and I was really nervous about the test. But, you know, my boss was just like, take the test. It's really easy. You'll do fine. And apparently I passed with flying colors. I got like 10 more points than I was like supposed to. Like the minimum score was 60. And I got, I believe, oh wait, no, it was 20 more points. No, was it 60 or 70? No, it was 70. The minimum score was 70. And I got like an 81. So I did pretty good. I did pretty good. They're gonna make me take the test again in like 6 months, so hopefully I'll 100% it by then. But yes, more money means more cool stuff that I'll be able to do for my stream. Speaking of cool stuff for the stream, when I hit 200, hopefully by the end of the month, I'm going to do the spicy noodle challenge. I'm not gonna say what kind of test it is, but it was a fairly easy test. I'm gonna do the spicy noodle challenge on stream. I was trying to figure out like what kind of noodles I should get, because like the super spicy ones that I see people use, I can only find them in 5 packs. I'm not buying a 5-pack of the super spicy noodles. Like I'm gonna go to the Asian market and I'm gonna get the spiciest one they have, which granted is probably going to be pretty spicy. It's gonna be pretty spicy. And the way I'm thinking of doing it is I'm going to do it so that like I'm gonna have water, I'm gonna have milk, and I'm gonna have mayonnaise. And I want to have it so that people can like prevent me from using something. So if someone like, let's say someone like does a thing. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna do it with like bits or points yet, but let's say someone, you know, does the thing that says like no milk for like, I don't know, 3 minutes. That means I can't drink milk for 3 minutes, right? I just have to like eat the noodles and suffer. I don't know how long it's gonna take. If they're as spicy as like people say they are, then they're probably going to take like a long time. Let me just check something real fast. I need to check the Discord. Hold on. Okay, it did work. Because I remember, Royal Beef wanted me to add a ping thing in the Discord where people can get like alerted to my streams, which I thought they were, but apparently not. So I changed the alert bot to do @everyone. Why not eat 5 noodles in a row? I don't think I could do that. That's a lot of food. Those things are like 500 calories each. I don't think I could do that. That's a bit too much for me. But yeah. So I guess the ping work? Okay, it does work. So you guys did get an alert. Okay, good. Because like I He was asking specifically for it to be like a role that you could opt into, but I have no idea how to do that. So I just set it to at everyone. And if you don't want to be added, you can just like you can just mute the channel. Just mute the channel, and I think it won't like. You could probably like figure it out. Unless someone complains about it, I won't fix it. But I suppose I should get into it. I've waffled on for long enough. So let's see here. I already did the disclaimer, but I'm gonna do the disclaimer again. This is not me saying like art schools are bad or they're a waste of time or a waste of money or like you're gonna have a bad time in art school. This is my experience. I have quite a few friends who were relatively happy with their education, and they got jobs in the industries, or at least in like relation to the industries that they worked in. So it's not like, you know, it's bad for everyone. Like everyone has like, you know, different like experiences. But I suppose before I go into like the school experience, I should tell you guys more about myself. So I have always been, or at least I used to be, an artist. And I used to draw every day since I was like old enough to hold and pick up like a crayon, doodling, sketching. I just had like ideas and concepts that I just wanted to get out on paper. And like people who are not artistically inclined or creative don't really understand like how can you just like do that, right? Like how do you get the motivation to do that? Or like how do you do that basically? And I like for a lot of artists, it's not really something that like it wasn't really something that I chose to do. Like today I'm going to draw a picture of this. It was more of like a compulsion. Like I have to draw this. I have to get this out of my head and onto paper. Like I have to do it, right? It was literally more of a compulsion than anything. It was also a coping mechanism too. Like, let's not get it twisted here. A lot of artists are like mentally ill or at least somewhat depressed. So, you know, drawing is a very good method of escape or coping with, you know, the shitty things in your life. So that was also a big part of it too. Just coping. And I always thought like that I wanted to be an artist, and everyone else thought like I was gonna be an artist too. Like I was, you know, always drawing, always creating, always doing stuff. And that's pretty much where everyone thought that's where my life was headed, including me. Ever since I was a very young kid, I wanted to go to like an art school. So, you know, that's basically where my life, or at least I thought that's where my life was going. And basically, like, I almost, to be honest with you, I almost dropped out of high school. I was skipping classes, I was failing a lot of my classes, so I wasn't even like sure if I was even gonna get that far. But that's a whole nother thing. But, you know, somehow I was able to scrape by and get into a pretty decent school. I got a scholarship too, which was also nice. But I was, you know, I was very excited for it. I was very happy for it. For reference, I was actually going into fashion design. That's what I was studying. And I went into fashion design because that's what I wanted to do. I've always been someone who's been interested in clothes and fashion. For any of you who are here for my like men's fashion review stream, that was what happens. So I went in with the, you know, idea that I was going to get a degree in fashion design. And the first year was basically like, you know, it's the first year of college. You're not really doing anything related to your major. It's getting all your like your core classes out of the way, which in my school was basically like illustration, digital media, there's a little bit of history. But a lot of it was more focused on like, oh, and also I think there was a sculpting class that I was supposed to take, but I kind of dropped out of because it was more of like an architecture class, and they were having us build these little models, which I found like way too stressful for me for some reason. Like, oh, your measurements have to be exactly like this, and they have to be cut so specifically, and I was just like, oh my god, this is this is too much for me. But basically, that's more or less what I was doing. Oh my god, COD! Thank you so much for the raid! Thank you, thank you! Hello, raiders! Hello everyone! For those of you who are new here, my name is Alex Azarashi. I'm a Seal Girl VTuber, and today I'm talking about my experience in art school. Oh, I'm glad you liked the raid alert, yeah. Let's see, what else? So, I had my first year was really good, despite the fact that I was taking a bunch of classes that I did not really like feel were relevant to my major. I made, like, for once in my life, I actually had a friend group. I had people to eat lunch with. I was surrounded by people with like the same kind of mentality and the same interests as me. It was really great that first year. And I met someone who would become like basically my brother and my best friend, who I still feel like, you know, we have a deep connection, like my spiritual brother, you know, like my brother from another mother. But that was basically, you know, my first year. It was really great. And I had a lot of fun in my first year. You know, I mean, I feel like for most people, their first year of college is going to be pretty fun, like in terms of like socially. But second year is when things kind of started to go downhill for me. And it was during my second year where I actually started doing my classes related to my major, which, you know, as I said before, was fashion design. And I was very excited for it, and I put a lot of effort into the stuff I did. I was basically, you know, doing long nights, just doing everything I could to kind of prepare myself. But unfortunately, I didn't really make any friends with anyone in my... Actually, that's not true. I had a few upperclassmen, a few senpais that I still talk to this day. They're, you know, they're chill, they're great. But the people in my class, like my actual design classes, I never really got along with them that well. I mean, mostly because they were kind of like... they were kind of normies, to be perfectly honest with you, and I was like not a normie. So I felt a little out of place in those classes. To be fair, fashion design as a major does kind of attract like a lot of, you know, relatively normie people. But you know, it was fine. I was fine with that because that means I wasn't distracted and I could just focus on my work. And let me tell you, I don't mean to toot my own horn. I got inspired to do this stream because the other day I had the random urge to go through all my sketchbooks and go through all of my, like, dig out my work from the garage, all of my illustrations and all of my, you know, technical drawings and stuff. Just because I wanted to kind of like, I felt like inflicting a little bit of pain onto myself that day. A little bit of doing myself a little bit of mental damage. But just looking back at my stuff, my shit was good. My shit was really good for someone who had no like professional like experience. Like I was okay, I'm gonna brag for a little bit, but compared to a lot of people in my class, I was very, very good. I was very, very good. Do I still draw? I will get into that later. I will get into that later. Yeah, I don't need no friends. My best friend is the grind. That was my life. But like my technical drawings were seriously good. My designs were pretty creative while also being somewhat grounded in reality, because that was something that like my teacher was very, very strict about, is that she did not like designs that were like kind of out there. She liked stuff that was very like conventional, which was pretty annoying to me because at the time I was very into J fashion and a lot of my designs kind of like reflected that or took inspiration from that. And that teacher, I could never please her. I could never please her. It felt like this is something that happens a lot in art schools. It probably happens a lot in regular colleges too. But sometimes you have a teacher and they just like, for whatever reason, they just don't like your work. They just don't like it. And no matter what you do, you will never be able to please them. That is the problem I had in like my illustration class and my design class, is that I had this one teacher, and even though my technical ability was very, very good and my designs were creative, she just was never happy with them. She would always kind of like nitpick things that she personally did not like. And the way I was there for the critiques, right? She was critiquing all of our work, and the way she would critique other people's work was very different than the way she would critique my personal work. Like I'm gonna shit talk for a little bit, but there was like a few people in my class who literally did not know how to draw at all. They had no grasp on anatomy. They had never sewn before. They didn't really have they just didn't understand at all. And she would always like grade me harsher than she graded them. And like, yeah, I understand. Like, the harsher the critique, the better. But the thing is that her critiques were not necessarily, they weren't always constructive. Sometimes they just boiled down to like, I don't really like this. You should change this. And she wouldn't really tell me the reason why. It was like a personal thing. Like, she just personally didn't like the work I did. And that kind of like, that pissed me off. That really pissed me off, because it's like, I knew my shit was good. I was probably the top 3 in the class in terms of like the quality of my work. Maybe she graded you harsher because she saw potential in you. That's a possibility. I have considered that, but like I said, it didn't feel like, her critiques were not that constructive. They were just kind of like, she personally did not like this because it wasn't to her taste. Not like, they weren't constructive a lot of the time. And I spent, some teachers just have it out for you. And I spent like so much of my time and my energy trying to please her that I really like burnt myself out. And it made me like really depressed. Like, it got to the point where I would just I would go to critique and I would just feel like throwing up, because it was like, I put so much effort into this thing that I did, and she just did not like even acknowledge that. She barely even acknowledged how much effort I put into the stuff I did. It all came down to like whether she personally liked it or not. And even some of like the people in my class, like, she also had like, I wasn't the only one she had it out for. There were a few other people in the class who kind of like, had the same problem as me. And I feel like that is especially like, it's not something that's isolated to me personally. Like, it happened to a lot of people. Like, a lot of my friends, they would have a teacher who would just like, for whatever reason, just kind of not critique them in the same way as they did everyone else, and it became like a personal thing. Oh, thank you for the head pat, Miss. I needed that. And it was just like, it felt personal, it felt like she had a problem with me personally, even though, like I said, I was one of the best students in the class. Thank you for the jacket. I came in on time every day. I did my work. I wasn't distracted. The quality of my work was very good. She just did not like, thank you for the cozy time. She just did not like the stuff I did. And that was like, my other teachers were actually really great. Like, my sewing teacher, she was happy with my work. She always complimented my work. She would tell me like, she would give me advice, like saying like, hey, your stitches over here are, a little bit wonky. You need to pay more attention to, things like the grain. You need to pay more attention to where, like, your seam allowance, that kind of stuff. But she would also like, acknowledge my, my work that was good. And as for my technical design class, Like, you know, my teacher, she was always happy with the stuff I did. You know, like she really didn't give me that much critique because she couldn't find, I don't mean to brag, but she would always like she wouldn't really give me that much critique because she would always say like, yeah, I can't really find anything that you did wrong, so I'm just gonna give you like an A. And, you know, that always felt good. But in reality, with the way the program was structured, it was the design illustration class that was kind of like the core of the program. And I think like also that teacher in my design illustration class, I think she was shit talking me to like some of my other teachers, because there was this like one time that I asked this teacher of my sewing class for a recommendation, and she was just like, well, you know, I heard from, you know, so-and-so, the teacher of my illustration class, that you're not really doing so well in her class. So I think you should probably, you know, work on getting your work done with her before you know, come to me. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? She's gonna pull that shit on me? Are you serious? Like, it was so ridiculous. I was so pissed off. But I basically, you know, I was working my ass off, and I just kind of fell into a pit of despair for multiple reasons. Because most of my friends, like I said, were in the illustration program, like the regular illustration program, not the fashion illustration program. And, you know, I got to see them between classes and at lunch and after school, but it got to the point where I dreaded going to my design classes because I didn't really get along with anyone in there. And I was also having this issue with this guy. Let me, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys this story. I don't give a fuck because this is like something that still kind of pisses me off to this day. So there was this guy in my design class, and we got along really well. I would dare say that, you know, he was flirting with me, I was flirting with him, and we were doing that for like a few months. And, you know, I was kind of like waiting for, I was like, you know, it was kind of like, you know, that kind of like little awkward thing, like who's gonna ask who out? Am I gonna do it or is he gonna do it? And then I find out that he had a girlfriend. He was like hitting on me and being flirtatious with me that whole fucking time when he had a fucking girlfriend. And I only found out because I overheard him talking about it, like mentioning her to like someone, a classmate that I had hung out, like we had like a group, right? A little group, and we all kind of like hung out together sometimes. Like we weren't like friends, but we were like acquainted and comfortable with each other. And I was just like, first of all, no one told me. So I was out here looking like an idiot and making myself look like a fool by flirting with him when he already had a girlfriend. So, and no one thought to tell me? No one thought to like mention that to me? First of all, what? Second of all, him doing that to me while he had a girlfriend? What? Excuse me? So when I found out, I was furious. I was so angry, and I just started ignoring him altogether. I stopped saying hello to him. I stopped talking to him. I just ignored him. When he walked by, I would look away. I couldn't even talk to him. I was so mad. And, you know, after, you know, a few days, he kind of like, he understood what happened, and he kind of stopped making an effort to talk to me. He kind of just like, was like, oh, you know, okay, I guess I'll just kind of like leave it. But it was also kind of an irritating situation where like, you remember how I said that there was like the group of people that we all kind of like hung out with, and we all kind of like talked? Well, he was always hanging out with them, and I was basically alone. Again. I couldn't talk to anyone in my class because he was always like talking to and hanging out with the other people in my class. So I was basically like, you know, I was fucking alone. And, you know, obviously I had my friends in my other classes, but it was so awkward because I just had to go to class and I just had to pretend that like he wasn't there. And so that was painful. That was, you know, irritating, having my heart broken like that and you having to deal with that. That was great. That was fantastic. But you know what? Something weird happened. So like a few months, like not a few months, maybe like a month after, he kind of caught up to me one day. And you know, I was kind of trying to ignore him, but he was like making it so I had to like talk to him. And I was like, what? And he was basically like, yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you that I had a girlfriend. And I broke up with her on New Year's. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. Like, why are you telling me this? And he was like, but you know, it would be cool if we could like still be friends. And at that time, I was just like, I was still mad at him. Like, I didn't care that he was apologizing to me. I was just like, whatever. I was just like, all right, whatever, dude. And I guess he took that as like an okay. And we did kind of start talking again, but we weren't really like as close as, you know, we used to be. And, you know, when I left school, I lost contact with him, which was probably for the best because like that whole like sequence of events is kind of like a red flag. Like, you're hitting on me, you have a girlfriend, then you tell me you broke up with said girlfriend on New Year's. Like, what am I supposed to do with that information, dude? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, like, am I supposed to jump into your arms? Am I supposed to like pretend that everything is all good now? Like, no, you lied to me. I made a fool of myself in front of everyone for you. So, yeah, that was that incident. And that certainly took a toll on me. But back to the actual education. Oh, hi, clipboard. Yeah, don't worry. I'll get back to what was actually important. Like, when I was into my design classes, I was basically I basically felt so drained. And I started having I started getting sick. My body started changing. Like, I almost had a seizure because I was not sleeping. Like, I was just overworking myself and I had to deal with that crap. So it was weird because I used to drink like coffee every day, like black coffee. I'll thank you for the head pat. A cup of black coffee every single day before school. And even sometimes during school too, I would have like multiple cups of coffee. And then one day I had like a cup of like coffee and I just like, I started getting the shakes. Like, my heart started beating really fast and I just like started getting the shakes. And that was like the first time that happened to me. And I tried drinking it again, same thing happened. Like, somehow my body just stopped being able to like take that much caffeine. And I had to stop drinking coffee for a number of years because of that. I've actually recently, within the past year, been able to drink it again. And it's also like the type of coffee. Yeah, but it's weird because that never used to happen to me. Like, I was drinking coffee in middle school and high school and I never had that problem. But I am able to drink coffee again, which is nice because I actually really, really enjoy coffee. I think it's really delicious. I like it. So I'm glad I'm able to like enjoy it again, at least a little bit. Let me get some water. But about halfway through my second year, I was also like working too. I had a part-time job and I had decided that I was going to drop out of school because I was so depressed. I was so miserable. I was so stressed out that I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, I felt like it just wasn't worth it. And the way I did it was not great. I basically didn't tell my parents. And I basically just stopped going to classes. I would still go to school just so I could use the facilities and like, you know, talk to my friends because I was still technically enrolled. But I basically just slowly stopped going to class, slowly stopped like just doing things. And I kind of decided that like, if I still want to continue on with like in a creative career, I would have to start building like my portfolio by myself, basically. And I did start doing that with like the intention of like still getting a career in a creative field, just like being a freelancer or being a like, you know, a contractor or something like that. Like I thought that was something I could do. But, you know, after a while, I realized that I had no idea how I was going to do that, because the one thing that was, do I work in the arts sector? I do not. I do not work in a creative field anymore. The one thing that my school didn't do, which I kind of realized recently is probably like a bad thing, is that they didn't have, or at least at the time, they didn't offer any classes on business or like how to market yourself or how to like basically get a job in the art world. And well, to be fair, when like the reason why people go to like the reason why you should, I'm gonna give you reasons why you should and should not go to art school. You should go to art school for the critique, for the connections, and for the facilities and learning how things work within the industry. Those are probably the three most valuable things that you will get out of it, because especially like, I mean, in any field, the connections that you have are going to be very influential in like getting a job and stuff, but especially so in the art world. When you have a teacher that is like, you know, potentially a famous artist, or a teacher that knows a lot of very, very famous artists and designers and can write you a really nice recommendation letter to get you a nice internship at like a nice design firm or company or something like that. That is one of like the biggest reasons to go to art school, because it is very, very difficult to make it in a creative field as a freelancer. It's not impossible, but you are going to spend so much of your time self-promoting that you are going to have like, you're going to be working like 12 hours a day if you're your own boss, basically, which is true of like anyone who is like a freelancer in any field. Like if you're your own boss, you're going to be working more than if you were doing like a basic 9 to 5, right? That's just the way it is. And critique is very important for, you know, growing artists. And that is something that I really wish I had at an earlier age, because if you're a creative person and you're surrounded by people who are normies, you can draw like, if you draw something that is like slightly better than a stick figure, people will go, oh my God, you're such a good artist. Holy shit, we have the next Michelangelo on our hands. Oh my God, you are a genius. You are going to go so far. Holy shit, you are like the next greatest artist. Like, and it's like, I drew like an anime picture of a guy with like really bad proportions and terrible shading. What are you people talking about? Like, this would not, like, no. So critique is very important, and I wish there were more places to get like constructive critique, like, because especially like for what you want to do. And the third thing, what did I say? Oh yes, learning industry standards and using the facilities. So especially if you're going into, this is more so for design than it is for fine arts. Like for design, I'm talking about like graphic design, industrial design, fashion design, anything in which you are going to be probably either working in a corporate environment or working with like specialized machinery or technology. Like learning how to use those is very, very, very important. Like I would say anyone, I'll say it, anyone can teach themselves how to use Photoshop. Like there's plenty of tutorials online, but like if you're, let's say you are an industrial designer or you want to go into industrial design, you need to learn how to turn your design into a finished product. That is something that you are not going to be able to get if you are just on your own. You need to learn how to use certain like like technologies, certain machines, certain things. Like as I was saying, like as a sewer, as someone who sews, you are going to be working on special machines, not on home sewing machines. You're going to be working on industrial machines, and those things, I would say, they do require like some time to learn. They are a lot faster and a lot more powerful than home machines. And you know, if you know how to use one of those, if you know how to use a juki, you can pretty much take that anywhere. Yeah, they're scary. Like they're really loud too. Like when I first started using them, they freaked me out. But once you get used to them, they're not so bad. But I would say reasons not to go to art school. I would say like the degree, because like, to be honest with you, at least nowadays, like having a degree in a certain thing does not mean you are going to do that certain thing. Like my friends, I have friends who got their degree in illustration who do not do any kind of illustration. I have friends who got their degree in design who do not do any sort of design. And I feel like that's true of just like college in general. Like, you know, like even if you, because there's this thing, it's called the paper ceiling. And it's basically like a lot of jobs have the baseline of you need to have a degree in order to get this position. It doesn't matter what kind of degree it is. It could be a degree in basket weaving. You just need to have one. And I discovered that when I was doing my job search over the last like 3 months, that a lot of jobs, even entry-level jobs, require you to just have a bachelor's. It doesn't matter what it's in, you just need to have one. Like some of them are really, really absurd. Like, oh yeah, for this like manager position at McDonald's, you should have a bachelor's degree. What? What? How does that make, or like working at a bookstore, this bookstore, let me tell you, so there's this like expensive fancy bookstore in my neighborhood, and they require you to, they pay minimum wage, mind you, minimum wage, and they require a bachelor's degree. And it's like, are you serious? You're paying me minimum wage and you require a bachelor's degree? What the fuck do you think I was doing for those 4 years? So it's ridiculous. The paper ceiling is a very real thing. And like you can be an artist with any kind of degree. Like having a degree in illustration is not going to make you a better illustrator than someone who does not have a degree in one. Likewise, painting or design or any of those things. Like really what matters the most, especially if you're looking for jobs, is your professionalism, your ability to stick to a schedule, and time management skills, I would say. Another reason to not go to art school is if you are basically the kind of person who is, how do I say this, easily demotivated, I would not recommend that, because like I said, you will find some teachers who will just do nothing but tear you down because they just don't personally like the stuff that you do. I need more water, hold on. Yeah, like it's ridiculous with the degrees and the jobs things. And I really like, let me tell you what my biggest regret is, and this may surprise you. My biggest regret is not changing my major to animation. And it might sound crazy what I'm about to say, but I took an animation class my first year, and I had so much fun in that class. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed doing it so much that I briefly considered changing my major. But I didn't, because I thought like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna get a job with an animation degree, but I'll be able to get a job with a fashion design degree. Oh, how foolish I was. How foolish I was. And also because like, generally speaking, in the animation world, like, it's harder to get a job if you're not from Cal Arts, and my school was not Cal Arts. Like if you go to like a school like Cal Arts, you're basically guaranteed a job in like the animation industry. It's basically just a funnel. That being said, like one of my classmates, actually, from the very first day I met her, I knew that she was going to work at Disney. Like the first, like I just like knew it, just like looking at her drawings, looking at her personality. I was just like, this girl, and I even told her like, you're gonna work at Disney one day. And lo and behold, she got hired out of college. Like she didn't even finish her degree. They hired her while she was in college to work at Disney. So she's really gone places. I'm very, very happy for her. But I do have beef with her. I do have beef with her. And I will tell you why I have beef with her. I don't hate her, just to put that out there. I don't hate her, but I do have. Let me tell you guys. This is also related to the reason why I hate Smash Brothers, the game Super Smash Brothers. And when I went to college, I brought my Switch with me, and I was the only one who had a Switch. I was the only one who brought it with me, so I was hot shit, right? And every Friday evening, I would bring my Switch out to the common area and I would host Mario Kart tournaments. And it was great because for the first time in my life, I was popular and people wanted to be my friend. I was cool. It was great. And you know what else was great? I'm really good at Mario Kart and I like beat everyone. There were only like 2 people who were able to beat me. One of them was the girl who now works at Disney. And it was great. It was always a fun time. Everyone wanted to hang out. It was fantastic. And then one day, that girl also got a Switch. And she brought it with her. And so, you know, it was like one day and I'm setting up my Mario Kart. And she's like, hey, I got the new Smash game. Can we play it for a little bit? And I was like, yeah, sure, we can play it for like an hour. And then we can do like the Mario Kart. We never did the Mario Kart. Ever again. Because the only thing that people wanted to do was play Smash. I would be like, oh hey, do you guys want to switch out to Mario Kart now? And they'd be like, no, it's okay. You know, maybe like a little bit later, I'd be like, oh hey, Mario Kart sounds fun, right? And Smash is innocent. Oh yeah, listen. And it would just be like, you know, next week I'd be like, oh hey, like I'd set up Mario Kart and I'd be like, hey, who wants to play Mario Kart? And then they'd all be like, oh, well, we wanted to play Smash. And then, you know, she'd be like, oh, okay, we'll switch it out for Smash. And I'd be like, yeah, that's totally fine. And then no one wanted to play Mario Kart with me anymore. Everyone wanted to play Smash. From then and forever on. And that's always what happens. That's always what happens whenever someone brings out the Smash, it turns people into mindless zombies. No one wants to play a fun game. No one wants to play Mario Kart. They just want to sit there and just press those fucking buttons, those stupid fucking buttons. They don't want, like, Mario Kart, not only is it fun, it also involves skill. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, but Alex, Smash is a game that requires skill. No, you know what it requires? It requires you to be as smelly as fucking possible so you can disgust your enemies and make them lose. That's what Smash is about. But yeah, because of her, I stopped being popular and no one wanted to play with me anymore. So I do have a little bit of beef with her. Just a little bit. Like I said, I don't hate her. She's a really cool person. She's really chill. I would like promote her on here, but like I said, if I did that, I would be doxing myself, so I'm not going to do that. But she's actually a really good person. But anyway, back to what we're actually talking about, art school. Where was I? So I stopped going to classes, and you know, eventually, like, you know, one of my teachers saw me, and she was like, it was the same teacher who would always like give me like the bullshit critiques. And she's, you know, kind of trying to talk to me like she's like concerned about me or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, Oh, thank you, Crispy Pies. I appreciate that. And I'm just like kind of trying to like talk to her while also not like sobbing my eyes out at like, I have to like, why are you pretending to be like nice to me at this moment, really? But I ended up like, summer came, it was summer vacation, and I was basically like before that I was going to class every day, and basically my parents thought that I was going to class every day because I would just go out every day, when in fact I was just dicking around, and I was also working too. But summer came, I started working full time, and that was actually my first sales job at that summer. And it was weird. That was also a terrible experience because I'll tell you about the job too. It was a sales job at like a little kind of upscale boutique. Like my first day there, like my boss was just like, you just shadow, the salesperson. You don't really need to do anything. And somehow I ended up selling like a bunch of stuff to this one customer. And she was like, okay, well, guess what? You're a new salesperson now. The funny thing is, it wasn't even supposed to be like a sales job. It was supposed to be like a design internship. But it ended up being a sales position anyway. So that's how I got started in sales. And I did that for a while. I was really good. And then after a while, I just kind of started, like, it just stopped. I lost motivation, I guess. I had a lot of, like I said, I was still depressed about school. I had a lot of shit going on. But eventually my numbers just kind of dwindled, and I lost my confidence. I lost the confidence to really sell people things. And I remember like my boss, she was like pointing that out. She's like, hey, lately your numbers have been pretty low. And I think it's like, what she told me? She told me like, I think it's a problem with you. I think you don't have the right energy for this. You don't have the right mindset for this. And I was like so taken aback at like how personal like that was. Like I'm having like a bad time, like, yeah, vibe check failed basically. And she's just like basically telling me like, oh, it's a you problem. The customers just don't like you personally. And I'm like, wow, okay, that makes me feel great about myself. So it felt like she was kind of like, thank you for the head pat. Looking for an excuse to basically kind of get me out, or at least to fire me. And so there's this one incident where I left the store that day. I was closing up and I locked the door. I locked the door of the store. I checked it. I yanked it. I pulled at it. I made sure it was locked because she told me that door does not always lock, and I locked it, and I locked the gate behind me. I did that. I know for a fact that I did that. And then the next day, I get a text from my coworker saying like, hey, like the gate was open. The door wasn't locked. Like, what's going on? And at the time I was like doing something else, so I didn't have time to respond to her message. But the next day I had my shift, and my boss, she called me in. She's like, hey, like I heard about what happened. Like the door and the gate were not locked. And I'm telling her like, I locked the gate. I don't know what happened, but I locked that fucking gate. And yeah, I didn't say fuck, obviously, but she basically just fired me on the spot, and I just had to, just leave. So that was great. My job that I had, my first job, getting fired from that was fantastic. That was wonderful. And it's funny because a few months later, I was walking by the store, and one of the other girls who worked there, she came up to me, and she's like, hey, how are you? How have you been? Doing that. And she's like, so yeah, she actually wants you to come back. How would you feel about like, coming back to the store and working for us again? And I was just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not interested in that right now. No. Not after she fired me for something that was not my fault. I know for a fact, with God as my witness, I know for a fact that I locked the door and I locked the gate. I don't know what happened, but that was not my fault. Like, I just, like, I'm not going back to that. Also, after what she said to me, like, thank you, Clipboard, I appreciate it. Like, I don't want to go back to working for someone like that. And, you know, I was able to get another like job later, but I was, around the time like school rolled around again, I had to tell my parents that I wasn't going back. And that was a whole the autocorrect, oh no. That was a whole incident that I don't really want to get into because it's a little embarrassing, but you know, I basically had to tell my parents, like, I'm not going back to school. I can't do it anymore. They weren't happy about it, but you know, they didn't force me to go back. Not like they could anyway, with how expensive that fucking school was. But after that, I was really, really depressed for like a good couple months. Like, I barely even got out of bed to do anything besides just like eat, sleep, and shit. Like that's literally all I could do because I was just so depressed, because I had this idea in my head for a very long time that I was going to graduate, I would get my degree in design, I would work, you know, for a fashion design company, or I would work for some company designing clothes. I would live in a nice apartment in the city. I would eat takeout all the time. That was my ideal life. That was what I had planned for me. And I thought it was realistic. I thought it was something that I could do. But I basically came to the realization that I don't like drawing. I don't like creating things for other people. Because before I went to school, everything I did was for myself. I did it on my own time. I didn't have any deadlines. I didn't have any guidelines. I could just do whatever I wanted to do. And suddenly having those limits put on me, it did inspire me to create my best work. I do feel like I created my best work when I was at school. I will consider showing you guys some someday. I will consider it. But it was basically like I put everything I had, my whole energy, all of my creativity into those 2 years at school. And it completely drained me. I was empty. I had nothing left to give. And I realized this because I decided to start taking a Japanese class, you know, just for the fun of it. And I noticed that I wasn't doodling on my notes anymore, like on the margins of my paper, because that is something that I have always done for my entire life. I've always been like a doodler. I doodle on the margins of my paper, I sketch. I wasn't doing that. Because it used to be something that I couldn't control. It was just something that I did like without even thinking about it. And when I noticed that, I felt a really deep, like, despair inside me. Like something was very, very wrong. Like when you think you have like an illness or something, like something is wrong with my body. That's how it basically felt. And I just stopped having ideas. As weird as that sounds. Like, oh, thank you for the head pat, Clipboard. I appreciate it. I just because before, like I said, every single day I would have ideas come into my head that I would just need to like sketch and get out on paper. It was constant. It was just a constant stream of inspiration and ideas. And all of a sudden that just stopped. It just stopped and there was nothing. And it's been like that for years. It's still like that today. It is extremely rare for me to have a spark of inspiration. I would say the last time I really did anything creative was when I made my VTuber model, my first model that I had. That was like the last creative thing that I really did in terms of drawing. Oh, thank you, Cod. And I have been trying to get it back. And I really don't know how. Like, you know, I've tried talking to someone about it, and they just said like, well, maybe you should just try, you know, drawing. But that's the thing, like, I don't have any ideas. Like, I don't have any ideas. You know, it's interesting because I'm actually on less medication now than I was when I was in, like, when I was in college. I was on more medication in college, a higher dosage than I am now. And I actually recently got off one of my medications that I thought maybe was the cause of me not having ideas, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And, you know, I've gone cold turkey from all of my medications, and I didn't really have like a huge difference. There was a small difference, but it wasn't like, yeah, it's like, I don't really know. And it's also hard for me because I kind of put it in my brain that if I'm doing something, I should do it like it basically warped my mind. Art school, it warped my mind so much, where it's like now I can't even do things for myself. I can't even draw or create things for myself. If I create something, it feels like it has to have a purpose. It has to have a usage. It feels like I just don't, it fucked with my mind so badly. It really fucked me up. I can't even be creative like I used to anymore because it just the last thing I drew, I think, was this little Pipit Tsum Tsum. I drew a Pipit Tsum Tsum and I posted it on Twitter because I thought, like, you know, it was cute. Thank you for the head pat. And that's like literally the last thing I was inspired to do. And like, I have sketchbooks. I could take a sketchbook and I could put it down in front of me and I would just have nothing in my head. Nothing for me to put down on the paper. Which is a really, like I said, it's scary because my whole life I just had this inside of me and now I don't have it anymore. I feel this sense of emptiness. I also do think that maybe do an MS Paint stream. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. The last thing I drew was the emotes for my stream. How could I forget about the emotes? How could I forget? How foolish of me. Let me put one in chat right now. I'll give myself this one, the cozy emote. There we go. Those are the last things I drew. But yeah, no, I made the emotes. I did a stream where I made the emotes. But I'm glad you liked them. But it's definitely like I used to do fashion designs like every day. I would sketch out a figure, I would draw the clothes, I would do everything. I would even scan it into the computer and like draw digitally. But now it's just so hard for me to do that anymore. And like my skill, my technical skill has degraded so much that now every time I try to do something, I am so disgusted by how bad it looks that I just cannot, like, I don't want to continue with it. Like, my skill level has degraded so much that it makes it hard for me because I'm just not happy. Like, I used to be able to do so much better and now I can't anymore. Which is very, like, you know, it's unfortunate. Let's see. I'm sure your spark isn't gone. It's somewhere in there. I really believe you'll root it out again one day with the right stimulus. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I think so too. I think that it's still somewhere in there. It's just like the fact that it's taken so long just makes me kind of like, thank you for the head pat. I'm getting a lot of head pats today. I did not intend for this stream to be a bit of a pity party. So I apologize for that, but I kind of have been wanting to get this off of my chest because it's not really something that I tell a lot of people. Like, I've never really gone out of my way to kind of like verbalize the whole thing. Like, I've told people bits and pieces, but just like putting together the whole story in a verbal format is not really something that I've done before. So in a way, this is like kind of therapeutic to me. Oh, thank you for the egg. Thank you for the yummy egg. Let me have some more water. So, I mean, like, you know, obviously I made the emotes, I made this overlay. Well, made is like, I put the things together. So there is like, there's a little bit in there. There's a little bit in there. I still have that design sense in there, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Hope letting all that helps you. Sloppy's are here with no judgment. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I don't normally do stuff like this because, like, I have this intense discomfort with, like, displaying my emotions or talking about, like, things that can make me emotional. I have this, like, intense discomfort about it because, like, the way I grew up, it's kind of like you have to keep everything inside or people will, like, use that against you to get the best of you. So it's opening up is something that's very, like, it's very difficult for me to do. It's very difficult. Let's see. But the bad kind of people would do that. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it all starts with Photoshop overlays. I mean, it's like, since I've started streaming, I have been doing a little bit more creative things. You know, like I did draw, like, my Twitter background and all that. Like, it's definitely thank you for the head pat. Oh, rub the egg. It's a jammy yolk for sure. It's definitely something that I am working on, and I do feel like as I get, like, more just comfortable with myself again, I think I'll be able to do it again. Maybe not at the same level or with the same, like, oh, Babme, hello, welcome. Maybe not with the same frequency as I used to, but you know, it's definitely going to take some time. Also because, like, I don't really have time, like, because I used to practice, right? I used to practice sketching and stuff and doing all that crap, but now it's like I don't really have, like, time or energy to really do that so much anymore, which is unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just checking something real fast. Because I mean, can I commission a full overlay emotes? No, I don't take commissions. I don't. I could never do that. Like, yeah, like, I think if I do things for other people, I'm never gonna be happy. It's like that saying, what is it? It's like, if you there's like two different sayings. There's like, if you work doing something that you'll like, you'll never work a day in your life. But there's also like, if you do what you like for a living, you will never be able to enjoy it again. Can I commission Roblox profile picture? Like, it's, yeah, basically, yeah. Find it cool how you're resilient, you always seem on stream. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, because I mean, for me, definitely, like, the second one is true, because, like, I know people who are able to, like, you know, be illustrators as their job, and they really, really enjoy it. And I'm, like, very happy for them. I'm jealous of them, in fact, that they're able to do that, like, make a living doing something that they actually love. But for me, it's like, I went to school, I got a taste of what that was like, and I decided that it wasn't for me. I just wish that I could have figured that out earlier, because, like, actually my parents, they even, like, suggested, like, hey, maybe you should just, like, you know, go to the community college and just get, like, a degree in communications or something, you know? And I was kind of like, no, I have to go to art school. I have to do it. It's my destiny. And they're just like, oh, all right. I've been working as a chef and it's made you hate cooking at home. Yeah, I've got another friend who works in the kitchen and he says, like, the same thing. Like, he doesn't like cooking for himself anymore. Like, yeah. I just wish that, like, my dreams could have been realized. But, you know, if it's not for me, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And I've more or less come to accept that. Like, right now, my plan is to just, like, I'm gonna be starting classes in 2 weeks. So, giving you guys a heads up, my stream schedule will be greatly reduced. I can't talk anymore. Next week is probably going to be my last like 4-day-a-week stream. I'm probably going to do like I'll probably do Friday, Saturday, Sunday streams, to be honest with you. Cause yeah, I'm going to be taking online classes because I do need to get my degree because of the thing that I mentioned called the paper ceiling. Let's see, hi, listen for a bit. Personally can't relate to creative work, but the idea of doing my hobbies as a job seems dreadful. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely people who can do it, but as it turns out, I am not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. And I wish I realized that earlier, but you know, even though I had a dreadful time, I still don't regret my time there because I met people who I still consider to be like my best friends. I had like a normal social life. You know, I was able to like meet because, you know, I always ate lunch by myself, right? I never really had like a friend group for a lot of my, you know, growing up. So it was really the first time in my life where I was able to feel like normal and be around people that I liked and I was comfortable with and that I got along with. So I don't really regret it for that reason. And also because I did learn a lot about myself. I learned, you know, what I can do, what I can't do. And, you know, even if it was a mistake, my only regret is that I didn't change my major. Yeah, I feel like the idea of monetizing your hobbies is pushed by almost bigger creators because that's how they succeeded, but I think it's very toxic. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I think that if you go into it with the mentality that you're doing it for, you know, the money or for like the attention or the whatever, I think you're probably going to get more out of it than I did. Whereas I went into it thinking like, this is my passion and I can make money off of my passion. I was a little bit too head in the clouds with it. So it's definitely like that. I mean, that is like, I feel like surprisingly, I haven't really felt that way with like VTubing. Like maybe it's because I'm still like small, you know, but I really enjoy this. I don't feel like I have like a whole lot of pressure, like, oh, I need to do this by this day, or I need to do like this by this. Like it's like I enjoy VTubing. I thankfully I don't feel like that way about it. Bachelor's degree from McDonald's. Do they even know how much colleges cost in the US? I mean, I might have over exaggerated that claim. I don't think it was like I don't think it was McDonald's. I think it was for like a different restaurant chain. But yeah, I need to beat Elden Ring now. Why? Did something happen? Did they announce the DLC? Oh man, now I'm curious. You got me curious. Elden Ring news. Oh, oh, you're making a joke. Okay. You trolled me. It's like, oh shit, is there a new Elden Ring? Is there a new update? What's happening? What's happening? I gotta know. He said chat doesn't pressure you. I mean, I was curious. I'm not trying to self-promote. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I don't consider that self-promotion. No, it's okay. We do a little trolling. A little trolling is okay. Technically you weren't trolling, but it's okay. It was only like a 2 second check. But I mean, like, for me, like streaming, like I don't really think of it like as a job. Like I would only consider streaming to be a job if I was making like twice as much as I did off of like, oh, thank you for the posture check. I am checking my posture as we speak. I would only like consider streaming a job if I made it like twice as much as I do in like my normal job. Oh, speaking of, I have great news. I finally got my first Twitch payout. My first Twitch payout of $59.53. Thank you, all of you who subscribed. Thank you to all of you who gifted gift subs. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And no, wait, not $5,000, $50. Yeah, $60 basically. $60. But you know, it's my first Twitch payout. I'm very happy about it, but it's like, yeah, it's very hard to make money off of. I mean, it's basically, you know, that basically covers the microphone, right? Like, more or less, it covers the microphone, so I'm pretty happy about that. But let's buy some soju. Oh man, I was tempted when I went to the Asian market. How long have I been streaming? Probably like 8 months. But I only really started growing when I changed my model, and that's one thing I regret. I was thinking about this last night. I could have done more for my debut. I could have promoted it more. I could have put more effort into it, but I was in like such a hurry to do it that I kind of just like, oh, you want to, okay, fine. I'll show you guys my old model. I'll show you guys my old model. Let me, let's see here. Is this it? Does it still work? I don't know if it still works. Hold on a second. There we go. This is my old model that I drew and I rigged myself. It's weird, I know, because I used to use a voice changer when I used this model, so I was kind of talking like that. Oh, that's not how I talked at all, but drew it, rigged it myself. Didn't really get very far with it, understandably. Oh, do I have to set this up again? Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, there we go. So, let me... I think I was like... Yeah, I was like right here, I think. Yeah. It looks like someone from Antarctica. That was like the idea, right? More of like a seal. But, you know, I was actually looking at this model before when I started streaming, because this is like one of those like $20 customizable models that I got off of Nazima. So it's basically, it's not a custom model. Anyone can use it. Anyone can buy it. Why not add seal things to your model? You know what? I was actually thinking about that. There is a VTuber model for like a seal that's only like 20. Seals don't have ears. Seals. Okay. Actually, seals do not have ears. Sea lions have ears. Seals are pinnipeds and do not have ears. not to actually you, but actually. But there is like a seal, like a live 2D seal model that I was thinking about like getting and just like putting it like on my head. I thought that would be really cute. I don't know if I got like another model, I don't know like how much more like RAM that would use, if it would use a lot or if it would use a little. I do need to get a RAM upgrade for my laptop. Maybe a seal hoodie or a seal beanie. There's, you know what, surprisingly, there's not a lot of like seal like related things. Like there's cat ears, dog ears, hamsters, snakes, and all kinds of crap for like VTuber models, but it's like no one thinks about the seals. I should add something just to kind of like make it seem more seal-like, but I'm a little limited with what I have right now. But you know, we'll see, maybe in the future, we'll see. Yeah. Yes, a seal hoodie would be fun. That would, I could think about doing that. The laptop's back. You know what? I realized what is using so much CPU. It is NVIDIA Broadcast, VTube Studio, and OBS. But let me Control Shift Escape right now and see what's using the most juice. VTube. Oh no, OBS, VTube Studio, and well, Firefox, because I have Firefox open. But everything is running okay right now. When I first came to the stream, yeah, it's not like, I mean, basically my lore is that I was a seal that became a human. That's more or less my lore. But no one came to my debut and no one like watched my debut video. So it is what it is. Not really a whole lot I can do with it. But yeah. Firefox. Yeah, I use Firefox. I tried Opera GX, but I really didn't notice like a huge difference, like in terms of like performance. The difference was negligible. And also, it does not have the features I use. It does not have a translate feature. The ad blocker sucks ass. You know, it just, you have a debut video. It's somewhere on my YouTube page. My YouTube is mostly for VODs. So you're really gonna have to dig back at least like 3 months if you want to find it. It's actually, you know what? I could probably find it and post it in chat for you guys if you want to watch it later. I'll do that. I'll do that. Let's see. Because I mean, really within like the past 2.5 months is when I started growing, like actually growing. Let's see. Have you used tree style tabs? I have no idea what those are. I don't use like visual stuff. Like I'm a function over form kind of person when it comes to that stuff. So I don't really like do anything to make it like look better. VODs don't do much. You know what it is? Most people watch, so before I don't know if this is an affiliate thing. I think it's an affiliate thing. When you are an affiliate, you have to wait 24 hours before uploading your VODs to YouTube. So most people, I've looked at my analytics on Twitch, most people watch my VODs on Twitch, and very few people watch my VODs on YouTube. Oh, hold on. So I was thinking, I had an idea. I don't know like how good of an idea this is, because like, again, like if most people are watching my VODs on Twitch, I don't really want to take that away from them. But I was thinking, if I just like make it so that the Twitch VODs, you can't look at them and you can only see them on YouTube. I was thinking about doing that, but just so I can get like YouTube like verified or whatever it is. But I also don't think that's fair for people who just prefer to watch VODs on Twitch for whatever reason. But yeah, your ramen review video might not make it your niche. That was like, honestly, like that was not something I was really planning on doing. Like I don't know. I'll think about it. Oh yeah, let me post it. Is it gonna let me post it? Hold on. Let's see. Is it gonna let me post it? Yes, it is. Okay, that's like basically my debut supercut. So if you guys feel like watching that, you can go ahead and do that. Give me the views. But really, my YouTube channel is more just like a VOD repository. I have more like followers on YouTube than I do on Twitch, which is like kind of why it's not kind of why I stopped streaming on YouTube, but it just like the conversion ratio for subscribers to viewers on YouTube seems to be a lot lower than on Twitch. Like I've seen people on YouTube who have like 100,000 subscribers, but when they stream, they get maybe like 5 people come to their stream. So I think it really like it's really harder to be a streamer on YouTube, I think. Like I see a lot of like, you know, indie VTubers that are debuting on YouTube, and I don't, this is gonna sound maybe a little bit rude, but I see them and I just think like, if they were on Twitch, they would be doing numbers, dude. They would be doing numbers on Twitch, but I'm a number fiend. That's my problem. I shouldn't make it other people's problems. The YouTube stream had the worst. Yeah, there's also, that's also because I was using Restream, which is also like adding like an additional amount of lag. I'm sure if I was just streaming to YouTube, it would probably be just as fast as Twitch, but because I was using Restream, it made it like a lot slower. Let's see. Yeah, YouTube is hard if you don't have an established audience. Yeah, that's basically what I figured out. Yeah, and generally speaking, people on YouTube, like YouTube is a video sharing platform. People are there to watch videos. So, you know, it's kind of like the amount of people who watch like streams on YouTube, I would say is significantly lower than the amount of people who watch like streams on Twitch. In my personal opinion, YouTube latency a is around 4 to 5 seconds, but Twitch I get 1 to 2. Yeah, is it really? Is it really? Huh. It's a noticeable difference. I guess so. YouTube streams are for established people. Basically, yeah, that seems to be like what, or like corpo VTubers and established people. Like there doesn't really seem to be any point in doing it if you are like just starting off, unless like, how did your kick go? It was more or less the same, like just like 1 or 2 people came to the kick stream. Twitch chat is way better. Heard some people complain it's hard to read. I think like, I don't know, I guess it depends. I haven't really noticed like a huge difference. Like my big issue with using Kick is that like, there's so little integrations for it. Like there's only like 1 chat widget for Kick, which is like, every time I used it, like, it's a pain. I'm still using it right now. I have to fix it because I don't even like the way it looks. I think it looks bad. It would be nice to get a custom chat widget, but I do not have that right now, unfortunately. Let's see. How are we doing on the 12 hours of copyright free music? Okay, we still got like 11 hours left. Oh boy. Let's see. Vile overall. I haven't had any problems on Kick. My experience as a VTuber on Kick was like pretty positive. Everyone on there was pretty much very nice to me. You know, if other people had bad experiences, then that's unfortunate. But I never had a problem with Kick. I just like found it harder to like, it feels like there's not really a whole lot of people who like, there's people streaming on Kick, but it seems like the community just isn't as big or as established as Twitch is. Like YouTube chat is really, really weird. Like, yeah, there's not many people on Kick basically. Because it's like they all kind of like funnel to like their specific creators and they don't seem to really branch out that much. But yeah. A lot of oh my god, the bots. Thankfully, I don't really get that many bots. Like I still get them on Twitter for sure. Like every time I get like a new follower, it's like, I am graphic designer, commission me for your Twitch overlays and VTuber. And it's like, no, you're getting blocked. You're getting reported. I know your ass is not a graphic designer. Make me want to stream again. Stop it. Hello, Alex. I am a graphic designer. Beep, beep. Would you like to commission me? Here is a sample of my work. Please do not pay attention to the Google Images logo on this corner. I drew it myself. I promise. I mean, here's the thing I've noticed about the bots. They have like some kind of like network where they will have like I don't know if it's like bots or real people, but they will have ones that pretend to be graphic designers and they will have ones that will pretend to be streamers that have commissioned said bots for their graphic design stuff. Oh, the DMs. Yeah, the fucking DMs. It's always the same. It's like, hi, how are you? And it's like, no, we're not doing this today. Hi, how's it going? Hey friend, how's your day? Get out of here, dude. Sometimes I'm afraid that like I'm going to accidentally like block someone who's actually an artist, but if you're sliding into people's DMs begging for commissions, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Got 2 messages from bots. I don't get any Discord bots, interestingly enough. I don't know why, but I just don't. Yeah, they're a real artist is gonna have to catch a stray. God, I remember this happened on Twitter where there was this one like artist that was claiming like, oh, I'm doing this artwork and I'm inspired by this specific artist. That's why my art looks similar to theirs. But it was like glaringly obvious that they were doing like a fuck, what is it called? Not Mid-Journey, but like an AI thing. And like I went to the fucking like I was like I know this is AI, and it's like, no, it's not AI. Here's a sketch I did. Here's a sketch I did that can prove it. But here, like, posting a sketch does not prove anything. because the AI program, I've used it before. Just fucking around with it. Like, what is it called? Stable diffusion. You can put a sketch into it and it will generate an image based on the sketch. So that doesn't do anything. And it was especially funny because they were like, I'm inspired by the artist Lamb, L-A-M, if you know who that is. And then I go onto the Civit AI website and I search like Lamb Laura. And lo and behold, there is one that can draw in the style of said artist. It was like, dude, come on, dude. Like, really? I wonder what they're doing. If they deleted it or if they're still out there just doubling down. I don't think it was a coincidence. It was like obvious, like just like if you know how to recognize an AI image, like if you've worked with it before, if you fucked around with it, then you know what the tells are. And the tells, they were so obvious. They did a good job to cover them up. They did a good job, I will say that. Like they definitely went over the hands, but there were still like a few things that were like, I know, I can tell what you did to make this image look the way it does. I know what you did. You know what's interesting? I noticed that like the bots, they always seem to go after people who get like less than, I would say 6 viewers on average, because, or maybe it's like a follower count. They go after people who have very, very low follower counts or who are just starting. Like for the past couple months, like when I stream, I haven't gotten like any. I still get, you know, a few on Twitter, but before it was like every single day, every time I posted anything. And now it's like maybe like once or twice a week. So they definitely prey on people who are just starting out. They definitely have some kind of like algorithm that picks out people with like low numbers and stuff, which is very like, very sus. Very, very sus, you know? I don't know if I should talk about AI because that's like a whole other monster. But like, it's like, I don't have anything personally against people who like use AI and stuff. I think if you're doing it like for yourself, just for fun, you're keeping your images to yourself, you're doing God knows what with them, you don't share them, that's totally fine. But it's like sometimes I see it's like an image and it's very obviously done in a specific artist's style. And I feel kind of bad because it's like, you could have like commissioned the artist. Like you could have. May I send you my favorite artist? Yeah, sure. I guess. I think you can post it in the Discord. You're in the Discord, aren't you? I think you are. It seems pretty reasonable to assume that new streamers would be vulnerable. I'm losing my ability to talk. Like, I don't think, like, it's like the same thing with, like, the AI voice thing. Like, if it's, like, objectively funny and not malicious, I think it's fine. But, if it's, like, you know, if it's, like, done in a shitty way, I draw backgrounds. Art streamer. Do not use my works for AI learning. Oh, so is this someone who's, like, an actual... Is this... Wow. Did they draw that? Wow. Wow. That's... These are beautiful. These are beautiful illustrations. I mean, they do, like, I can see that this would, like, trigger some people into thinking that this is AI. It's also kind of unfortunate that it's like now, like, artists, like, they have to change the way they draw because, like, AI is, like, basically replicating the way that they draw. And then now people will go to the artist and be like, hey, you're using AI, when it's in fact, like, No, I was here first. I was the OG. I was here. What are you talking about? Like people just don't know. These are so lovely. These are so incredibly lovely. Wow, this guy is really wonderful. Yeah, exactly. Why do that when you could make something funny? I think that like laughter is one of the most powerful things like on the planet. Like if you can make someone laugh, I think that's really like one of the best things you can do. Like more so, like it's a powerful emotion. People like underestimate how powerful laughter really is and how it can really like it can really change a situation, right? It can really make someone's day. You know, that's why I at least try to be funny in my streams. I try to, you know, make you guys chuckle or chortle a little bit, right? I certainly try. But it's, yeah, this is beautiful. Does this guy Boosty? Oh, is he Russian? Is he for Russian? Does he I was gonna say, does he do commissions? But this guy's commissions are probably way out of my price range. Probably way out of my price range. Oh, he streams too. He has a Twitch page. Does he stream his art? That would be cool. That would be nice to see. I pee my pants a little when I watch you. Oh, well, better slap on some diapers because you are in for the ride of your life. Check out this art stream from 10 days ago. Oh! Okay, so, okay, wow. Oh, I see. Oh my god. This is like one of the reasons. Oh, sorry. Let me post the, I will post it in the chat for you guys to see because this is really, really beautiful stuff. I'll post the Twitter. Wait, does Twitter still require you to log in? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. Let me paste it in there. There we go. You guys can take a look. If not, I'll post the art station or the Twitch channel. But yeah. That's if you can't see it, just let me know and I'll post like the Twitch channel or something. That's probably part of the reason why I went into like fashion design is because like I originally wanted to do, yes, you can post the app. I think. Probably. Give it a try. Give it a try. I originally wanted to do like illustration, but I don't like drawing buildings, backgrounds, architecture, or objects. I like drawing people and clothes and that's it. I don't like drawing anything else. That's all I really like drawing. So that's kind of why I went into fashion. And also because I like sewing too, right? That's why I originally like went into fashion design. It's a little bit unfortunate because like, you know, my experience kind of soured me to like doing fashion design as a whole because like just the fashion industry in itself is just it's a whole nother beast. It is a whole nother clusterfuck. And when I realized that, I was like, I don't think I could do this. I don't think I could be a part of this industry. I don't think it's going to work for me. So that's another reason why I kind of like left out the child labor. Yeah, exactly. I would have to wrestle with like, you know, the possibility of working for a company that like, you know, uses child labor. It's like I'm being exploited for my work and they're being exploited for their work. So I'd just be another wheel in the clog of exploitation. Fun times, you know? You don't sound nearly insane enough to make it into fashion. I have definitely not as insane as I used. Actually, I should mention that I was pretty fucked up when I was going through like, you know, my fashion program. Like I was really, like I said, I was really, really depressed. And I was probably like the funniest I've ever been in my entire life during that period. Because I was just so fucking miserable all the time. And I was so entertaining. I was so funny. If I had like streamed during that time, oh my god, you guys would be like literally just cracking up every 5 minutes. I was so crazy. I was like doing some crazy shit posts too. I was shit posting a lot during that time. And it's a shame that I've kind of lost that ability to shit post. Oh shit, he worked on Shining Nikki? Oh my god, he worked on Nikki. I love Nikki. That explains it. Oh my god. That explains it. Yeah, I just saw. Oh, I love Shining Nikki. That's like one of my favorite, my favorite gacha game. For those of you who don't know, Shining Nikki is like it's like a dress-up game that's also a gacha game. That's probably like pretty much the only one that I have spent money on. I used to do their monthly thing, which was like $5 a month, and you get like gems. It's a girl game. It's a girl game, like, and stuff. I used to do that for like, I think like 2 or 3 years, but I had to stop because I ran out of money. So here we are. Here we are again. I might, well, when I get my next paycheck in, I might I might subscribe to, actually no, sometimes I did the $10 a month subscription too. But see, that's what I liked about that game, is that they offered like a subscription in addition to like buying, you know, premium currency. Because I don't like buying premium currency. Buying premium currency feels like a scam. But with the subscription, you get not only do you get like a certain like stipend of gems to spend, you also get like, you know, more energy, more like power-ups. You get like, it's basically a better deal to buy like the monthly card than to buy like the currency by itself, because you just get more benefits. Which is like, I wish a lot more games had that. But does Blue Archive have that? I am playing Blue Archive, but I don't really like it enough to spend money on it, because like the gameplay in Blue Archive, it's really fucking boring. It's so boring, and they do have an auto feature, which is nice, but it's like, it doesn't skip the battle. You still have to watch the battle play. It's so unbelievably boring. Like, I have a few characters that I really like, and like that's kind of like why I like it. I see like, ooh, it's anime girl. I want to collect her PNG, and like I'll roll for that. But it's like, the story is mediocre, the gameplay is unbelievably boring. Like, there's not a whole lot going on there. It's like, I want to like it. I still have it on my phone. Like, yeah, they could just sell the art. Exactly. The Nike battle pass, the skins, plus the extra rolls. Plus I'm addicted to gambling. Yeah, it's like, it's not even a game. It's not even fun. I don't know. I also have like, what else do I have? I have Bang Dream. No, not Bang Dream. Sorry. D4DJ and Prosecca. But I don't really play them that much. I used to play a lot of D4DJ, but Prosecca, I don't even play. I just like log in and collect the coins, and in the hopes that one day they will have like a character that I will want to roll for, or a banner that I want to roll for. But so far, so far nothing. Because I do like rhythm games, but I just like, there needs to be more. There needs to be more. Like, I saved up in D4DJ. I pretty much only spend my gems on like a specific character. Aoi, if you know who she is. But that's it. I just save up my gems for the Aoi birthday gacha, and then I roll that and I get a new one, and I'm like, yes, I got another Aoi. And then I close the game until the next day when I come in and I collect my points. Let me sit up here real fast. Let's see. Very fortunate that we were gambling just makes me sad. Yeah, I don't like spending money. Like, if I spend money on a roll, I feel stupid. I feel like an idiot. I feel like I wasted my money. Whereas if I don't spend my money and I save up all my gems and I roll and I get something that I really want, I feel great. I feel like I scammed the system. I feel amazing about it. You gotta oh, the free ones too? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I don't like random chance things, to be honest with you. I don't like surprises. That's basically my thing. I don't like I don't even like getting gifts. Because if it's like, unless I know what it is, I'm going to be very like, I'm like a Chinese grandma. I don't like not knowing what things are or what they're going to be. Like it's just a weird thing that I have. Because I hate it when like I get a gift and I'm disappointed and then I have to pretend to not be disappointed. That is so difficult for me to do because I'm a really bad liar. I'm a terrible, terrible liar. So it's like one time for Christmas, like my aunt, she got me like a pillow pet for some reason. And I had to be like, wow, this is great. I love pillow pets. Thank you. I just like every year my mom is like, so can you give me your Christmas list so I could give it to like your relatives? And I'm like, no, please just give me gift cards. Just give me money. Just please don't buy me anything. I can't deal with the disappointment. That actually makes me sound like a brat. That makes me sound like such a brat. Like, oh, I'm depressed because I didn't get the present I want. That makes me sound so bad. But it's like, I don't like getting useless things. It's interesting because it's like when you're a kid, like you hate getting useless things. And now when you turn into an adult, you love getting useful things. Like, wait, I think I screwed that up. No, when you're a kid, you like getting useless things, and when you're an adult, you don't like getting useless things. There we go. There we go. Did they believe you or New York? I have no idea. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I do. I ask for money every year. I say that's all I want for Christmas is money. And my mom is like, no, you have to ask for something like a tangible object. You have to ask for a real present. And I'm like, why? 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 Like, it doesn't even matter because I'll give my family my Christmas list and they won't get me anything on the list. I'll be like, here are the things I want. Here are the links for you to buy the things. And then they don't get me anything on the list. It's like, why did I even give it to you in the first place? Why? Why? Like, oh my god. I think it's also because like pretty much everyone in my family does their Christmas shopping the day before Christmas. So it's like, if it's something that has to be ordered online, I'm probably not getting it. I mean, like, I suppose the plus is that, like, if I get something I don't want, I can just, like, sell it on eBay. But it's, that's such a hassle. Especially because it's, like, you have to, it's a hassle. It's a pain. It's a pain. Give me a credit card. Yeah, yeah. I do, might be cultural difference. Maybe. It's, yeah. It's definitely something, that's for sure. Oh boy. Ooh, I like this song. Does it tell me what it is? It's kind of like jazzy tune. I always like struggle when I'm looking for background music because it's either lo-fi beats, cyber EDM, or like, actually I did find a playlist of like supposedly DMCA or like risk-free Nintendo music. So I might try that next time, or low risk. It said low risk Nintendo music because I do like streams that have Nintendo music on them. That's always fun. But you know, with Nintendo being the way that they are, you don't want to mess with them and their goons. Nintendo copyright. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a low effort stream with that on in the background and see how that does. But I figured like, for today, maybe let's not for today, right? Oh boy. Let's see here. Let me just check something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, okay, I'm back. I'm back. No, I didn't leave you. I just had to check on the dogs. I had to check on the dogs. Let's see. I feel like I'm all talked out for today. So I think I'm going to I think I'm gonna end it here probably. Let's see, before I do, if you want to see me eat spicy noodles live on stream, go ahead and hit that follow button. I'm trying to reach 200 by the end of the month, and I will do the the spicy noodle challenge. Let me switch over to the ending screen here. Hold on a sec. Oh, who's that? Yanni, thank you so much for the follow. West of 6, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me switch over to the ending screen here. There we go. Let me turn off the copyright-free beats here. Let's see. That's gonna do it for me today. I appreciate you guys staying and listening to me just chat. Let me see if there's anyone we can raid. I think... Oh, thank you for the head pat, even though I'm not in frame. Even though I'm not in frame. Let's see. I think we're gonna raid into... Okay, I know I forced you guys into a mahjong stream last time, but I'm gonna force you guys into another mahjong stream. But it's okay because it's Nyaru, and I love Nyaru, and you guys will like Nyaru too. So I'm going to send you guys over there. Once again, thank you so much for the follow. I really, really appreciate it. And before I go, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're from. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!